Warning, the following contains the utter destruction of canon. If you are horrified by what you hear, please ask your local authorities about charities to which you can donate in order to stop such heinous crimes against literature. Hi, you're watching GibdeSpeak, and I am the Gibde. Well, the last episode that I did took a very long time to save on my computer, and I've noticed that the more chapters I do, the more time I take, and the longer it takes for me to save the video on my computer and to load it on YouTube, and it's just a big frustration. So I'm gonna start doing the chapters in smaller chunks. Also gives me like more opportunities to record chapters and things, so that because I started school a couple days ago. It's gonna be really busy. It's my senior year. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things. I'm gonna be working on my project for my senior project. But I think I can get this. I'm going to see how much I can do. Just letting you know, that's a little information. So I think I'm going to try to keep it to maybe 2 chapters, maybe 3 if the third one is really short, a video. So we left off at chapter 21. Author's note. Fuku, okay? Ufoking suk. It's not my fault if it's spelled wrong, okay, cause that bick ravern, cause it fuck prebs one. Huh. That was interesting. Woobs saws raven fangs for da help. BTW Transylvania rocks Harad 1. I even got to go to the castle where Dr. Cola was filmed. Later, we all went in the skull. Draco was crying in the common room. Draco, are you okay? I asked in a gothic voice. No, I'm not, oo fucking bitch, he shouted angrily. He started to run out of the place in a suicidal way. How do you run out of some place in a suicidal way? How exactly does that work? I stated to cry because I was afraid he would commit suicide. Even though way back when, you said that vampires cannot commit suicide, alright, without, like, driving a stake, as in, you know, the food stake, through their heart. Anyways, it's okay, Anobi, said Vampire comfortly. I'll make him feel better. Mean you'll go fuck him, won't you? I shouted angrily. Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too. Draco, please come, he began to cry. I would make a joke about that, but it's actually spelled correctly. Tears of blood came down his pale face. Pale is spelled P-A-I-L, so I guess he has a bucket on his head. I was so turned on cause I love sensitive bi guys. If we're a homophone, then fuck off. Fuck of. So, if you're a homophone, which means if you're a word like there, and there, or two, and two, then apparently you can fuck of. And then, ... we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out his Blake invincibility cloak. Coke, I'm sorry. Invincibility Coke. So apparently, Vampire has this magical elixir, this soda, so to speak, that will make you invincible. We both got under it, so they're now all standing under a can of Coke. We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hand. Who is Mr. Norris? Who is there? He shouted angrily. Then we saw Filth come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly. Oh God. Oh God! Did she even read the books? Did she even see the movies? Well, she said that she hasn't read the books, but has she not even paid attention to the movies? Filch, not Filth, is the janitor. Mrs. Norris is his cat. She seems to have got them mixed up. Is anyone, spelt A-N-Y, and then the number 1, there? Yelled Mr. Norris. No, fuck you, you preppy little poser son of a fucking bick. I guess phonetically fucking is spelt correctly, but it's F-U-K-C-I-N-G. I'm gonna leave that one alone, because that's not as bad as some of the other spelling errors in here. Vampire said under his breast in a disgusted way. Okay, not only does Vampire have a pail over his head and he's hiding under a can of Coke, but now he has breasts. Excuse me, who said that? Yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Filch meow. Filth, is there anyone under the cloak? He asked. Filth nodded. How can he see the cloak? Furthermore, where'd the cloak come from? I thought they were hiding under a can of Coke. And then, ... Vampire Frenched me. He did it just as ... Mr. Norris was taking off the cloak one. What da, he yelled, but it was too late, 'cause now we were ruining away from him. And then we saw Draco crying and busting into tears and slitting his wrists outside of the school. Draco, I cried, are you okay? I guess, though, Draco wept. We went back to our coffins, Frenching each other. Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid. See, isn't that depressing? On the gothic red bed together. As I was about to put in the video, my eyes rolled up, and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now. There was a knock at the door, and Fug and the Mystery of Magic walked into the school. One. Why is there a knock on the door? I'm assuming of their common room, and the Fug and the Mystery of Magic. I'm not even going to worry about the names right now because they get much more hilarious later on. But she hears a knock on her door, and Fug and the Mystery of Magic walk in. They would have already been in the school. Why does she say they walk into the school? Anyways, let's go ahead and hit up chapter 22. Author's note. STFU, preps stop flaming, okay? If you do not lick it, fook off. I know it's Mr. Norris. It's Raven's fault. Okay, 1-1. Usuk 1. No, just kidding, Raven. Ufoking rock prebs sook 1. Alright. So apparently people were telling her what I was saying, that it's Mrs. Norris, the cat, and Filch, the janitor. But apparently, she tried to put it off on Raven. Then she said, lol, JK, Raven. It's not really your fault. Preps just don't know what they're talking about. The people who are obviously much bigger fans, or at least mildly bigger fans than you and I, as in Raven and Tara, don't know crap about the series. They don't know crap about the canon. They don't know anything. It's all what we say, because we saw the movies and we are gothic. So we are automatically more awesome and obviously right. All day, everyone talked about the misery of magic. Well, if I was in this story, I would hate magic too. Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was in my coffin, so I opened the door. No way! I would have thought you just stayed there. I actually would have hoped that you just stayed there and ended this horrible story. I was wearing Blake lacy leather pajamas, because that is really comfortable. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were... B semicolon Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diabolo, Draco, Dracula, and Willow. I opened my crimson eyes. So you knew that they were there before you opened your eyes? How exactly does that work? Willow was wearing a tight black leather top with pictures of bloody roses on it. Oh god, here we go. Under that, she wore a black poofy skirt with lace on it and black gothic boots that was attached to the top. Vampire was wearing a baggy Simple Plan t-shirt with baggy black pants and Vans. Oh, Draco was wearing a black MCR t-shirt and Blake jeans and a leather jacket. He looked just like geeky Gerard Way and almost as fucking sexy. Vampire looked like Joel Madden. Bloody Mary was wearing a tight black poofy gothic dress that she had ripped it so it showed all of her cleavage and a white apron that said Bic and other swear words. Bic is not a swear word. Bitch would be a swear word, but Bic is not. And MCR lyrics on it of like one dress I had seen Amy Lee wear once. Darkness, who is Jenny. Who is Jenny? I think that deserves a question mark at the end of it, not just an end parentheses. Who's Jenny? Oh, I think she means Ginny. Yeah, that's why you should at least look at the books, so you at least know the characters' names. Was there too. She was weaving a ripped gothic black dress with ripped stuff all over it, and a lace-up top thing and black pointy boots. So were Crabbe and Goyle. Well, that's the first time that they were ever mentioned. Crabbe is spelt the wrong way, and they were apparently in drag. It turns out that Darkness Diabolo, Crabbe and Goyle's dad, was a vampire. What? No! That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Okay. Ginny, Ron, and Crabbe and Goyle are not related. Furthermore, their dad is not a vampire. He is a muggle studier. He wants to learn from the muggles. He's not a vampire. Stop turning everyone in this story into a vampire. It is driving me insane. Vampires aren't cool. Well, they were cool, but now they sparkle, and so now they have a bad reputation. I mean, vampires, I don't know. They shouldn't be main characters in stories unless they're stories like Dracula. Then it's fine, because Dracula is a kick-ass story. This is not a kick-ass story, and it should not have vampires as the main character. Furthermore, it should not keep changing all the canon characters into vampires, because it's really irritating when you change canon, because you are no longer reading a fanfiction, you are reading an original piece of work with other characters' names in it. And by the way that she's changing everyone's name, she can't even spell Voldemort or Dumbledore the right way, which is essentially changing their name. I mean, Dumbledore isn't the same as Dumbledore, and he sure acts out of character all the time, and Voldemort speaks in Shakespearean for some reason. This canon is so far gone that this is no longer a fanfiction, aside from the fact that they go to a skull, air quotes, called Hogwarts. That is the only piece of the canon that she has left pure and untainted. Sorry about that little rant. Turns out Darkness Diabolo, Crabbe and Goyle's dad, was a vampire. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists with a razor. What? Okay, I'm sorry. This is driving me insane. Okay, I know I'm nitpicking here, but she said ages ago, that vampires can't commit suicide by slitting their wrists. That's not how it works, and yet she stated it. Draco apparently died from it and came back to life, so he didn't die from it. And now Mr. Weasley, or whatever, Mr. Crabbe Goyle, now he's done it. So, not only has she violated canon of J.K. Rowling's, but she's also violated her own canon. How do you violate your own canon? And it gets worse. He had raped them and stuff before, too. So they got all depressed and they became gothic and converted to... Oh my god. That is the best misspelling I have seen. They all got so depressed that they became gothic and converted to Stanism. Man, I love that Stan. He's the only guy who knows how to work the copy machine at work. We should all revere him as a god. Oh, you mean Satanism? Yeah, there's an A in there, sweetie. OMFG, I yielded as I jumped up. Why the fuck are you all here? Ennaby, something is really fucked up, Draco said. Okay, but I need to put my fucking clothes on first, I shouted angrily. Alright, we have to go now, and you look kawaii anyway. You're so fucking beautiful, Draco said in a sexy voice. Oh, alright, I said, smiling, but you will have to tell me why you're being all erective. Well, maybe it's because you've mentioned fucking in every single sentence that you've said so far since you've woken up. I will, he said. So I just put on some black eyeliner, black lipstick, and red eyeshadow and white foundation. Shut up about your makeup. Then I came. That's disgusting. We all went outside the Great Howl and looked in from a window. They're just looking through a woman, apparently, at the Great Howl. So apparently, I'm not even gonna touch that. A fucking prep called Brittany from Gryffindor was standing next to us. She was wearing a pink mini and a Hilary Duff t-shirt, so we all put our middle fingers up at her. So, when you find someone who doesn't dress like you, just disrespect them, because that is the way that you should deal with things. Inside the Great Hall, we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudged was there shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Rumbridge was there too. "This cannot be!" she shouted angrily. "The school must be closed! The Bark Lord is planning to kill the students!" yelled Cornelia Fudge. Number one, Cornelius Fudge is not a woman unless he got a sex change in this version of the universe. So, which wouldn't surprise me if this was taking place in an alternate universe. Maybe that's just the art of this story. Also, I want to know who the Bark Lord is. I know who the Dark Lord is. That's Voldemort, but the Bark Lord? Is that like his pet dog or something? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's planning to kill the students. "You are not fit to be the principal any longer," yelled Rumbridge. "You are too old and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry or Voldemort will kill your students." Oh, so Voldemort is planning on killing the students. Dumbledore has Alzheimer's, and he is the principal of Hogwarts, not the headmaster. "Very well," Dumbledore said angrily. "Oh, but you're not, you can't be saying it angrily. You're not in all caps, like everything else." But, as in a but, "we cannot do this. We can't close the school. There is only one person who is capable of killing Voldemort, and she is in the school." No. No, you didn't. "And her name is ... Enemy, Darkness, Dementia, Raven, Way." Draco, Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Willow, Vampire, and Bloody Mary looked at each other. ... I gasped. ... Rest in peace, Harry Potter canon. She has taken the one sacred thing about Harry Potter. The one thing! The one thing that Harry Potter was about! She took the one thing that Harry Potter was about and changed it so that her delightfully awful Mary Sue could be the star of this book, of this series. So Harry Potter is no longer the chosen one. Ebony is. I don't know how she's gonna defeat the Dark Lord, since all she seems capable of doing is getting naked and having sex. And, I'm gonna go have to lie down. I'm very disappointed in this author. The one thing. Until next time, you've been watching GibdeSpeak, and I have been the Gibde.